Hello, everybody. Sorry, we're a bit late. I was trying to make Kaza a moderator, and guess what? I don't know how to do it still. So I'm just trying to navigate this
We're learning as we
YouTube.
grow.
Kaza,
Hello,
I'm going to
everyone.
make him. Hello, hi. Say hi to everybody, Tina. How have you been
Uh,
today? You all right?
yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Haven't seen her in ages. Yeah, no, I'm good. Just doing life, Had a bit of a break last week and I'm back,
We
you know.
both of our children's birthdays were yesterday, and I said to Tina, "This is crazy. How
I
have we
know.
both had kids on the same day?" And well, who do you meet that has kids on the same day?
I know,
Um,
right?
it's madness, isn't it?
It is.
Um,
It is. Small world.
it is really. I love dates and like intertwining with dates and things like that. I love all that. But Kaz, I will make you a moderator as soon as I actually, get some brain cells. I will be able to do it. I'm just gonna have a play around with it tonight. And there was a couple of other people that wanted to be mods as well. So I'll go back over the live chat and I'll do that this evening. But I can't do it right now because I've no idea where it is. Anyway, so welcome to Royal Jam. Tonight we're going to talk about a few different topics. There's some bits in the news about Harry and Charles. And he's actually sent Harry a stark warning, which we'll go into in a bit. And we wanted to talk about grandparent alienation, which is quite a big thing. I don't think it's spoken about that much. It's a difficult situation, isn't it, Tina? Because a lot of grandparents don't really have that many rights in the way of their grandkids. I
No,
mean,
not.
have you got any experience with that, or have you got any kind of information on that to share with us?
Yeah, I have with my own family, really. My brother's children. I'm not going to go into major detail,
Mm.
but, my mom sort of lost contact because mom wants to play games, and it's a common occurrence in a lot of people's homes. And the thing is that there are grandparent rights, but the costs of fighting for that. But we've got a different concept with the royal family because they've got the money and they could fight this. But this is where, like, I've seen it before where people are going, well, the king can go and see the kids. No one's. Can you imagine how that would look? He can't just force himself there and just turn up on the doorstep. This is the king, who's got cancer, by the way, and Thomas Markle. So it just, for me, at this point, the punishment don't suit the crime if the crime was true. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've both watched them with their parents, Harry with Charles, hugs, smiles. We watched Charles with the other grandchildren. We watched Thomas Markle and how he was with Meghan Markle. And it's so sad that they're stopping their children from having that, you know?
And a lot of the time as well, it's normally, well, the way some parents do it is normally one set of parents that don't see the children, but to have two sets of parents
Yeah.
not see the kids. I know Doria does,
Yeah.
but yeah, it is an odd one, isn't it? Because how can everybody, when you look at the situation, you think, how can everybody else be bad, and
Yeah.
you guys are okay? And it feels like, I think as the kids get older, they're going to be asking a lot more questions.
Absolutely.
Um,
And if you
and
carry on,
yeah,
sorry.
go for it. No, you go for it.
No,
Go
I'm
for
just
it,
saying,
Steve.
if you actually look at the optics on this, Doria wasn't around for Meghan Markle. So if we're going to judge any parenting skills, we're going to judge the parenting that we've seen. And that's Thomas Markle providing receipts and how he was there for Meghan and stuff like that. And all the videotapes of footage which he filmed of her growing up, which, not many parents do that, which shows a deep element of love and adoration for her. And it's just sad, really, that he probably, in my romantic mind, thought that one day he'd be able to show the grandchildren with Meghan and watch these tapes back. And it's like time is ticking for both these grandparents and with both health issues. It's how bad you got to take this.
And Louise is right, as you know, it is a very selfish thing because you are only thinking about your own issues with that
Yeah.
parent.
Hmm.
And the kids miss out on so much. They miss out on a really like a deep connected fabric to who they are.
Hmm.
You know, different ways of learning, different ways of playing, different ways of associating themselves with adults. The
Mm.
love with a grandparent
Yeah.
is different to that of a parent, isn't it? A grandparent will do things differently and behave in a different way, and they treat them in these children. It's like a second chance of having kids
Hmm.
again. Because
Yeah.
I think as parents, Tina, and we know this, our kids are now a bit older. Mine, my boy turned 10 yesterday. My daughter's 11 now, and all that time when they were growing up, you're not always living in the moment because it is hard, it's
Hmm.
hectic, and
Yeah.
you're not enjoying them to their fullest sometimes because you're worried about money, you're
Yeah.
working, and life is stressful, and you don't think about them being any older. You always just think that that's the time you're going to
Yeah.
be
Yeah. Yeah.
living in. And
Yeah.
so now they're older, I do reflect back and I think, you know, I wish I'd cherished them moments a little bit more, and I had that. I
Absolutely.
stood still for a while, and
Hmm.
I think when you have your grandkids, which is that's what I'm hoping for. I hope I get lots of lovely grandkids bouncing around. But when that happens, that's the time when you really soak them up, right? Because
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
not going to be working as much,
Yeah.
and you should by that time normally you're retired, unless they have them earlier than that. Please don't do that to me. Just please don't be a teenager having
Yeah.
children. But yeah, I just think it's a different moment in time, and it's that second chance to really connect with a child again.
Yeah.
And yeah, and like you say, Del Plummer says, yeah, time does go by really, really fast. I just can't believe where these years have gone. It's
Hmm.
scary. And it was only Christmas yesterday, wasn't it?
I know. We're halfway through another year, but we're turning over to, the countdown to Christmas soon, won't we? The thing is, right, I sit there and say all this, and my biological dad has no relationship with my children, but he never had a relationship with me.
Mm,
It's not like it's not an easy transition to do when he
mm.
never bothered with me and he's never really made any effort with my children. So it happens, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
not for want of trying over the
Oh,
years. It's just failed every time. So I'm not judging everyone because
oh no.
sometimes in some situations it don't work. But if we look at what was said and what's been complained about the royal family, okay, so a word's been mentioned, a questioning, and just royal family politics. It's not like Charles wasn't there for Harry. He was sat at the end of his bed when he was scared of the dark. He had all of that from his dad. We watched Charles bouncing Louis on his lap to give Catherine a break. We see how hands-on he is. Or well, and Lily was how old? Was she 3 years old? And he's never met her. At what level? And they keep speaking like Harry on that Hill and Whistler about how I love my family. Why is it your 3-year-old daughter has not met your father if you
Mm.
love your family and you want a connection with them, you know?
And I'll go back to the point that you made about grandparents, and
Mm.
it's different if they're trying and you're putting that barrier up, but if it's the other way round, and you know they're not. Oh, Tina's oh, there she is.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I just like fell behind stage.
Tina's gone. She's
I fell
gone.
off the stage.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what's going on? I lost my train of thought because you disappeared. I was talking. What was I talking about? So yeah, it's when the grandparents don't want to interact with your children,
Yeah.
then that's not your fault. There's nothing you can do about that. And there are grandparents like that aren't interested, when
Mhm.
that's their problem, isn't it? They're the ones that are going to miss out on seeing their grandchildren, and that's up to them if they choose to do that. But if it's the other way around and you're preventing it, and there really isn't a good enough reason for
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
um, it that's a real shame, isn't it? And this is another thing with cousins and aunties and uncles, you know. Growing up with cousins is such a beautiful experience. You know, you play together, you have sleepovers, you have that fun and that family time. And then you're also now stopping them from seeing their cousins as well. You've got you know, you've got Prince William and Princess Catherine's children, and they should be interacting. They should be playing
Yeah.
with each other, and it just feels like that's never gonna ever come back to that. And it's the
No.
years that you miss is so valuable.
Well, that's the thing with my biological dad. I tried, but because so many years had gone before I even met him, it's hard then to establish something that's not been there. You know, it's not inbuilt. So it it's hard then. So the longer this goes on, the harder it's going to be for those children to connect with that family at all.
Mm,
You know,
mm,
and it's actually really sad. And Thomas Markle again, there's another
mm,
one. And the thing is with this, it's, you know, there are plenty of grandparents that are abusive to their children, and their children say, no, you're not damaging my children like you damage me. I get
mm.
it. I'm not saying like there's not every
Well,
case is the
every
same.
case is
Yeah,
taken on an individual
yeah,
basis, isn't it? But
yeah.
how we're viewing this case, it doesn't feel like there's a legitimate
No,
reason to alienate
no,
their grandparents on
yeah,
both sides.
yeah,
You know, I just can't see it. I can't validate it.
no,
And maybe there is more going on behind the scenes. Like we don't know
yeah,
everything.
yeah,
You know, there could be a lot more to it. But as an outsider looking in, I don't feel it's a necessary step to take, considering Princess Catherine and Prince William. They let you know they King Charles has a lovely relationship with their children. So why would he still allow that if they were that bad? You
yeah. Well,
know?
that's the thing. And we you know, even with Philip and his funeral, you see the horse and cart, the cart they used to take the grandkids on. So this is like tradition. This is, you know, Philip was the same. The Queen was the same with her grandchildren, you know, and it's sad that
Mm,
they've just took away their children from all of that. In, you know, like you, like me, you know, it's so important for me, for my children to have that stable and to have as many grandparents that, you know, around that choose to be and want to be in their life. And it's yeah, it's just really awful, isn't it? And like I said, up until the moment Harry and Meghan met, these parents were great parents. Meghan was preaching on a stage about her dad and how the soap had, and how, like, you know, he had raised her, and and you know, same with Harry. We watched him hug and be natural with his dad. So I'd understand if we've got a deficit and a backlog of negative, and they've moved on and took their children out of that. This all happened when they got together, you know, and it's like, okay, so
in her Netflix documentary, she was she went through she believed that her dad was selling stories on her, right? And that's
yeah.
why they stopped speaking. I mean, how true do you think that is? You know, if you look at did you watch that part of the documentary?
I I've watched all of it, and
Okay.
I've watched bits of the Netflix when I can. Then I can't turn it off because I'm like, oh no, Jesus Christ, I can't watch you do anymore. Like, are you serious? Are you serious? Um, in my opinion only, Thomas Markle was set up by Meghan Markle. She wanted him off the scene. Like that
Mm,
when you see, okay, so Thomas Markle was being hounded by the media. He was target number one across the country, across the globe, to speak out and do what he did. We all know through Sam in that she had pretty much ghosted him, like she ghosted everyone else, because it all fits in, because there's so many other people she does this to. And I feel like she didn't want the family around. She wanted to cut them out. And I feel like that, you know, the headlines were about Thomas Markle's fat gut hanging over his belt. And no, but then you have these paparazzi shots of him, which the setup ones, where you've got a dad doing exercise with a belt on and some weights, basically trying to send subliminal messages to his daughter who won't pick up the phone to say, I am good enough. I'm going to lose weight for this wedding. Like, how sad is that? You know, that this man can't speak to his daughter and he's got the, okay, so he done wrong in that moment. But what do you do if you can't speak to her and you've got them at you and she's isolated you? And then the other shot is him in an internet cafe looking at pictures of Britain and the wedding. Just like, it's not like he's come out. And I'm telling you now, like Thomas Markle has got a lot more he could tell us, and we all know that with Doria, but he hasn't, has he? He's kept his mouth shut. So for me, I feel like it was all set up, and this letter that was leaked, in the part of the letter that I read that she had sent to him, it said the only reason I can sleep at night is knowing that a lie won't last forever. And I was like, that's you, man. That's you. That's how you sleep at night.
You see, a lot of people that lie really believe their own lies. I mean, I actually know someone that is a compulsive liar, and they genuinely believe their own shit. And that's very dangerous. And I don't know where it stems from, and I've not done any kind of research on it, because it is, I think it is like a kind of a mind, like some sort of, I don't know, mental health, maybe. It has to be, because you fantasize and you start believing exactly what your story is and your narrative is, and if you say it enough times, it becomes true.
Here you go, Sandra. It was proved Meghan was working with the same paps that photographed him at the same time. And there's so much, if you pick away, there's so much out there which goes to this. And this woman lied in court. She lied in court. And that's the thing, they believe their own grandeur. And I think she just felt like, because she had this royal family name, they could just do whatever they wanted, And I like, sorry.
No, go on.
I just think it takes a certain kind of human to have your dad lay in a hospital bed and not go there. Now, my biological dad, I've told you about mine. I had a phone call. He was poorly, and I went to his bedside to give him that peace. And he wasn't even there for me.
No,
so I can't even relate to that. And what?
No, I know. I get that. I understand that some people have more loyalty and more love, and someone could do a lot of harm to you and hurt you, but because you have that bond with them as a father or as a mother, you still are there. It's a weird thing, isn't it? Because you always make excuses for people's behavior because of the way that they were treated as a child, and I think you, as a human being, you have a level of understanding and a level of empathy, and some of us are just more capable of it than others. And I think she just doesn't really have it in her. I think all she really cares about, and it's this cutthroat business of how high can I get. To her, all that matters is her position and her stage. And I just wanted to also clarify, there's a few comments as well from the other video on Saturday, or live on Saturday. I will never speak about Meghan's appearance. I'm not interested in bringing her down of what she looks like. I don't care, if she's got no boobs or she's got massive boobs. None of that bothers me. I am literally really just, I never want to bring another woman down based on their looks or what they're wearing, or their body type, or their weight. That's just not in my nature in any way, shape or form. It's all about behaviour with me and Tina. All we're doing is analysing people's behaviour and how they are, and just giving our opinions. But I'm not interested in, if she could have an alien head, it wouldn't bother me.
You will not find a video of me, of all my content, where you don't need to. You don't need to do that, because she has done enough through actions and behaviours and the way she treats people. Don't need to go to those,
Thank you, Multisetti, for becoming a new member. I love that. That's brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah.
I need to start, setting up some member stuff. I've got 3 members at the moment, which is brilliant.
Yay.
Yay, 3 members. But I need to start doing member, benefits. So I'm going to look into that. I've got some time off work this week. So I've got mods to sort out and member benefits. I need an assistant, Tina.
Speaking about before though, like, you know what? My husband fancies Meghan Markle.
Shut up.
I know, right? I swear he does it to annoy me.
He's a naughty
I swear
boy.
he does it to annoy me.
He needs to be spanked.
He fancied Amber Heard as well. I'm like, you're just doing it
No,
to
he
wind me up.
doesn't. He's winding you
I swear
up.
he's doing it to wind me up.
No.
However, once when we was going through the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp stuff, I done a post where I said she's a beautiful woman. Right?
She's pretty. She's gorgeous looking. Yeah.
It
Both
doesn't
of them
matter
I think
at
are
this
attractive.
point. It doesn't matter because she's ugly inside. Like,
of
but
course.
she is to look at, and that's why she bagged Johnny Depp. You know, like I'm not for the bullshit.
I like Johnny Depp. He's gorgeous, isn't he? And he's so funny.
Johnny Depp. In his heyday, oh my God, Johnny Depp.
I like him with his makeup on in the Pirates of Caribbean.
Yes.
Oh, love it. And I don't like men with makeup on. Only Ron, obviously, when he wears his lipstick. Did you see this picture of him in the WhatsApp group?
I know.
He looked like Elton John, didn't he?
Concert, and he's
honestly,
just
girls, guys in the audience, yeah. He looked like Elton John. He was dressed up with the glasses, the bow feather. Brilliant. Honestly, it made me laugh. He looked great, didn't he? But yeah, so what were we talking about? Him fancying Amber Heard. Carry on. Tell me about this.
No, he is creamy. I believe he is winding me up. But the reality is, these women are physically attractive to a lot of men. Okay, there's a reality to that, and that's why Meghan Markle's got where she has, although we can beg to differ. But at the end of the day, it don't matter about their looks. They rely on their looks, but it's the vessels that they are. It's the fact that they're vile people inside, you know, and that's what I work with, that their behaviors, their actions, you know. I can acknowledge, you know, it's just Johnny Depp. My sister went to junior high with Johnny Depp in Florida.
Oh God, he's just so funny as well. I love someone that's really funny and, you know, just witty, and he's got that charm.
Intelligence as well. He's so deep. The end of the day, the aftermath wouldn't even be if it were for Johnny Depp. So.
No, that is true. Yeah. He's just gorgeous in Pirates of the Caribbean, isn't he?
Yeah.
What's his name again in that? What's his
Captain Jack Sparrow.
There you go, Captain Jack Sparrow.
I just, you know, I think the man is incredible, and to come back to fight the way he did, and what he triggered off and what he started off was an absolute avalanche of survivors all coming out. I feel like they see him telling his story and they connected to their own through him, and it was just the first time ever conversation about domestic abuse and violence.
And it's good that, you know, when it's a woman doing it to a man, it's never really the forefront of everybody's mind, is it? And it, you know, it does happen. It happens a lot, but it's not when we think of domestic abuse, we don't think of normally a woman doing that to a man. We normally think of it the other way around, don't we? So it's good to see and to show that it's okay for, if you are going for it as a man, you know, to come out and speak. And you can still be a strong character and it happening to you. You know, we can't control other people's behavior. And she was very manipulative. In fact, there's going to be a Netflix program out soon, isn't there? On them two, which I can't wait to watch.
Well, that's the thing. That's what annoys me. Even though all the evidence was plain to see with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard court case, the media, the narrative was still, she is the victim, and the ACLU, and I was going mental on TikTok. I was posting every day. I was like, because they just would not have it. Women's Refuge came out to defend Amber Heard, which hurt me, because I was like, how dare you? Because that was like a safe space in my life, and they can see, they know what is going on here, but to protect whatever this was. It was just so triggering for all survivors to watch a victim be attacked like they were, but not only by the abuser, but by the world around in the way it's set up. You know, and here we are again, you know, because if Harry was a princess, it will be completely different. Although I'm angry with Harry also, I do see.
But you know, if you are being if you are being in a coercive relationship, you are being sort of trained to think differently and to behave
Yeah.
differently. It's not. I mean, I'm not entirely sure whether, you know, it's all allegedly, right? So we can't really, but this is how I feel. This is what is happening. If she is abusing him, his mind is, he's been trained now to accept a lot of stuff, to accept a lot of behavior that you wouldn't normally accept, because it's a gradual thing with abuse. They chip away at you really, really slowly, and you end up becoming a shell of yourself. So it starts with small things and you accept it, and they push to see how far they can go, and then you're willing just to accept the breadcrumbs of a loaf of bread, when at first you started out with this beautiful relationship, what you thought was beautiful, and by the end of it you have it's bare bones. It's not even what you couldn't even recognize it.
The thing is, these people, and I see it in the refuge, they don't even know what they like anymore. From what I witnessed, they don't even know. They're scared of their own voice, to have a voice. And it was just something else in the aftermath for a lot of the survivors and stuff. It's just even making a decision for yourself becomes out of reach, you know, in picking an item or spending money on yourself and stuff like that. It becomes, and that's obviously more of the extreme side, but the thing is, it's been stripped back that much and the damage is there on the main stage, which the security, I see all the security now with Harry, and we all see that he don't mind the security. He's not that paranoid in Nigeria or Jamaica. And for me, him going for this security just tells me that he, in him achieving that security, I feel like for him, that's some kind of justification and validation for his own behavior. So he can pretty much turn around and go, see, this is why we had to do it, because we needed this. They wouldn't let us have this. And I feel like in his head, he feels like getting that security, it's not about the security, it's about some kind of like get out to, you know, equate for the damage that's behind him. But if that's the case, that's gonna be a dark day once he realizes, because even when they give him that, even if they did give him that security, it ain't going to change the damage he's created, you know.
The security hype is, you know, it's a bit much. I don't know why he thinks everybody's after him. I just think, how much security do you need? You know, and it's almost, I mean, he's been this court case battle now since 2020. I mean, is he not bored of that? And the amount of money it's costing just to go through that is wild. And he should be paying for his own security.
He should.
He's no, you know, I don't understand. You can't have both. You can't. And oh, what was that? Was that me? I don't know. Right, I have some news here. Right, so 2 seconds. Can you hear that, Tina?
What?
I feel like I'm getting hear like someone talking in my ear. It's weird.
Oh.
Okay, so the news today I read was consequences if you do not obey. So King Charles has given a grave warning to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle over press leaks. So King Charles has reportedly directly threatened his son to stop leaking to the press in a major update on the Sussexes' shredded relationship with the monarchy. A royal insider has made bombshell claims that King Charles has directly threatened his son, Prince Harry, to stop leaking to the press in a major update, fracturing with their fractured relationship with the monarchy. Harry and his wife Meghan Markle have been largely estranged from the royal family since 2020, and later slammed the monarchy in an Oprah Winfrey interview, which we know about, and Netflix series as Harry's memoir Spare. So Harry has been asked directly by his father not to write or say anything publicly anything further about the family or his brother that might cause trouble, he's told the Daily Mirror. And everyone knows that when a king asks you to do something, there are going to be consequences if you do not obey. So the Californian-based Duke of Sussex has scarcely seen his father in the past 4 years, and their most recent confirmed meeting occurred shortly after the king's cancer diagnosis and lasted less than an hour. So he sent a warning now to Harry. I think this was a long time coming. I mean, what do you think, Tina?
Yeah, no, it's sort of got to be done at this point with talks of a second spare. And yeah, King Charles has got to act now, you know. But then if we're still going to watch them go on like fake royal tour, I think more. But then I suppose it's a test, isn't it? And I believe, the not seeing him when he come back here for the Invictus, I feel like that was a test as well, in which Harry failed because he came out and released a statement to be like, I'm not a priority kind of thing. I think he's just, all they can do is test him to see when it's changed, to see when they're going to change. I suppose their hands are tied, aren't they? They can't turn up on Harry and Meghan's doorstep. They can't come out and say anything because they never complain and never explain. Harry and Meghan are just sat there abusing and doing what they want on the world stage, and it's like, which way do you play it? Because either way, the royal family are under mass attack by all their sugars, and they just don't seem to be. I don't know what to do. Either way, they can't win. And that's what Harry's done to them.
It's a constant verbal diarrhea that they keep coming out with. And I think maybe this is in line with the fact that Spare 2 might be out, whatever he's going to call his next book. And, maybe he's thinking the revelations from that are going to be even more of a bombshell moment. And how much more can the royal family take? I think even Harry's first cousin Zara, she's reportedly cut ties with him as well, because of his treatment of Charles. And there's a few others in the royal family that have completely distanced themselves, because if somebody speaks the way that they speak, and don't have any filter whatsoever, how can you trust them and be around them? Because you'd have to be very careful of what you're saying constantly.
Yeah. Okay. Is my echo better now?
I don't think it was you, Tina. I think I got infiltrated by someone outside. I think the CID are out there or something. They're like, hello. I was like, what's this? It's like I've got someone else's conversation in my ear. Weird. It freaked me out.
Firstly, I just want to say to Emma Toombs, that's brilliant that you went in a refuge and you're living a great life now, because I've seen that in the comments, and it's, and like you said, you feel blessed to be here. And that's the thing, when you're stripped back so low, you do just feel blessed just to have the basics in life. And this is what we see with Harry and Meghan. I don't think they've been stripped down that low. I feel like they've just been on the top all their life. And this is why when they got told no, they don't feel they're lucky and they're blessed. And sadly, the people that suffer in life learn quickly how, appreciative and grateful and just that, that feeling of, I can go on. Anyway, I'm really happy.
Keep talking, Tina.
No, I just want to say, because when you strip back, I feel like it's the cruelest way to learn. But we've said, Vic, haven't we? Yeah. Like, you just, the basics in life, as long as the roof over our heads and the kids are fed, and anything else is a bonus, and
we have to be grateful for every day, don't we? And you do have to deal with the cards in life that you've been dealt. And sometimes it is unfair. But the bad things that have happened to me in my life, I always look at it and think, right, well, what can I learn from this? And I think that what happens to you really creates a character and builds up strength and resilience. I used to, in my 20s, I couldn't handle a lot of life. It was very difficult. But now, if I see a unicorn flying in front of me, I'll go, oh, that's okay, that's normal. Anything, nothing shocks me anymore. Genuinely doesn't, honestly. You could literally do anything to me and I would just be like, okay, that's fine. And
Yeah.
just, it's weird, isn't it? I don't have that shock factor anymore. And I definitely don't have that panic in me when something goes wrong. I think, okay, well, instead of getting stressed about it, let's try and work it out. Obviously, you have your moments, as we all
Yeah.
do. But I think I've learned how to deal with life a lot better as I've got older.
Do you
And
know
that's
one
the good
thing?
thing about getting older, isn't it? It's learning how to
Yeah, it
deal with
does. It
stuff.
does. You can't fight it anymore. It's like you've got no choice but to aim forward and taking the good out of every bad that I've had. And I just, I've lost my trail of thought. Carry
No,
on, Vic,
no,
take
no,
over.
that's okay. No, 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 that's
What was I
fine.
going to say? It's gone. Oh, people
It's,
like us. Okay, so people, the aftermath of abuse, like you said, if there's a disaster or a really serious problem, I'm there. I know what to do.
yeah.
Now, the little crap, the pinicalty stuff, I will overthink and worry
Oh,
and
you know why I'm
question
an
myself.
overthinker.
And you're the same. Like the first time I ever see Victoria on a royal mess, I knew she was one of. I knew it.
You
I
as a fellow
literally.
aftermath.
I knew straight away. And after she sort of come onto the group, goes, "Sorry if I spoke too much." And I was like, "There it is. The sorry. She's
Yeah, I
overthinking."
just
Like
apologise
because
for a thing.
we do.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
breathing, guys.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm breathing. Sorry, I added to the conversation. Was it too much? What are they thinking
Oh,
of me? I
yeah,
stepped out of line, and like it's that. It's that. Get the big stuff there. I know what to do. That don't phase me. I'm quite numb to it
yeah,
because life trained me for the
yeah.
big stuff.
Do you feel like sometimes you can't read people, or do you feel like
Oh,
you overread them?
um, no, I feel
Does that
like I
make
can read
sense?
people to the point
Yeah.
where it's probably, I suppose I can read bad, and in some situations, someone's bad,
Mm,
but you got to play ball, you got to play
mm.
game, and just be like, especially work and stuff like that,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's a
Mm.
mindfuck because you understand
Yeah,
what
because
they are.
you don't particularly want to work with a lot of the people that you
Yeah,
do work with.
yeah,
In big establishments as well. You'll be thrown into, and at schools, kids are at school with people they don't even like. Other kids, and they've got to deal with that. I couldn't think of anything worse than going back to school
no,
and being around all them kids.
no, no,
That was a
no,
lot.
yeah,
I think high school is really difficult, actually. Really
mm,
hard. One of the hardest things you do.
yeah,
It has to be. Because
yeah.
if you're not particularly confident, it's difficult.
Mm.
Um, we,
I
we,
see.
s-
For me, high school was a break. To be honest with you, my life was like it was like every weekend was like a Christmas episode of EastEnders, and high school for me, my friends was a bit of sort of solace,
mm,
for me. So that was I was just rebellious. I got to a point where I was just like, yeah, whatever. Just like, just. But anyway, royal family trusting Harry. How do you test that? And this is the only way, little bits, because they can't have them round for an event. They can't expose themselves or leave themselves vulnerable like that.
they can't. Yeah, no,
Can
they
they?
can't. No.
So this is the only way Harry, King Charles can test Harry by saying no more. And
You
if
send
more
you a
comes,
firewall. Yeah.
they step away more, and take more, So I suppose it's the last now that they've got to change Harry and Meghan. I don't think it's capable though. I don't believe I feel like stuff will still get leaked. Harry may be oblivious, but I think his wife will know. My opinion.
Yes, and even if he warns Harry and Harry complies, like you said, she might not comply. She does what she wants to do,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't, with it seems to be that you can't stop her from doing what she wants. I think
No.
she's the driver in this situation. Now there is another article as well, which is saying Prince Harry is searching for UK home as his friends are not visiting him. Oh, poor Harry, not getting any friend visits due to risks with Meghan Markle. So Prince Harry is searching for a UK base as his friends do not visit him in the US due to risks with Meghan. So his friends aren't getting on with Meghan either. A royal commentator has claimed the Duke of Sussex wants to find a home in the UK after being evicted from his royal residence Frogmore Cottage, which we know that's nobody wants to live there, Tina. And if King Charles, I'll just say it now, if no one wants to live there, I'll move into Frogmore Cottage if it's available.
Me and Vicar share.
We'll share it. It's fine. It's definitely the right size for us. We're fine with that. So if you need new tenants, me and Tina.
That'd be our new
Frogmore
office,
Cottage.
you know. Can you imagine? I'd
I'd
love
love
that.
that, wouldn't it? That'd
You
be
know,
great.
do you know, that's the thing though, you know, and there was so much emphasis put in Nottingham Cottage in the Netflix documentary, and there wasn't much mention by Harry and Meghan of Frogmore. And this is the reality. They weren't happy with Notts Cots. The royal family tried to fix that. They offered them Frogmore. They got Frogmore. Then they wanted £3 million worth of renovation. They got that on the taxpayers' money at that moment in time until they decided to leave, and they were like, no, you pay that back, which rightly so. But, you know, this Frogmore Cottage, she built a yoga studio, of course, in there. And it's just
yes,
like...
I've got one of them too.
You know.
Studio. In
And
my
it's
2-bedroom
like,
flat.
it annoys me because that Netflix, it was such a narrative in which they wanted to push the poor me, and even on Oprah with Notts Cots, you wouldn't believe it, and Oprah's, you know, crying out. And it's just like, hang on a minute, you're missing out the massive 5-bedroom cottage they've been living in until they come here. No mention of that. It was just the shabby little cottage just adjacent to
Nobody wants to live there. Prince Andrew doesn't want to live there. It's just, you know, it must be, you know, falling apart, crumbling at the on the outside.
But I see that headline you've just read about Harry missing home, and I've always said, you know what, rather than staying at a Premier Inn, Harry, just buy a house here.
Yeah.
But I see that headline today, and I got really cross actually because I was reading that, and I thought, oh, poor Harry, you know, you can come and buy a house like that, you know, like that.
Yeah.
How many people? How many people are homeless? How many people get and it's just like, oh, poor me, I'm gonna buy a house. You can go and buy, you know, no doubt acres of land in this country, and that's how blessed you are. That's the bit you miss out when you bang on about being a spare, because you're also blessed with that name of spare, which we just pretend not happened, just like Frogmore. You know, sorry, but that annoyed me.
No, and I was just being sarcastic, by the way, when I was talking about Frogmore Cottage. I know it's not, there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever, but no, talking about how bad it was inside. But it's obviously lovely and spectacular, right? So what I don't get either, Tina, is I think he's waiting on his dad to offer him a royal lodge, and that's probably not going to happen now after everything that's happened. And so he probably won't put his hand in his pocket and buy, even though he could. Yeah. And like you said, it does annoy me because there are people on the council waiting list, for no fault of their own, that they can't get, they can't pay rent because the rents are skyrocketed here, especially in London. It's very, very expensive. There's a 9-year waiting list. By the time you can get a house, all your kids would be grown up. I think it's disgusting that,
you know
people like him.
Yeah,
go on, carry on. You carry on.
There are even young couples who have worked hard, put themselves through uni, and still can't get on the housing market. You know, there's a mass spectrum of people that are just surviving out here, and we've got to listen to, you know, Harry's missing home, so he's going to buy a UK residence. Well, go and buy your house, because no one wants to hear it, and just feel how blessed you are. In Emma's homes, I've been homeless too a few times in my life, so it's just, you haven't got a clue, Harry. Go in, like, touch some grass, mate, because no one wants to hear.
Go and hug a tree, Harry. Go and hug a tree.
Don't tell him that, because he probably would. She's probably got him hugging trees right now.
Just don't put your oscillating todger on the tree, Harry.
God.
Keep it in your pants.
But it's like, how oblivious can you get?
I know. They're out of touch, aren't they?
Yeah,
and they're you know, they're born with the silver spoon in their mouth, which is fine, you know, that, and some people are fortunate enough, and I get that. But then you really just need to be grounded at some point and go, right, you know what? You need to appreciate what you have. Stop turning down lodges here, there, and everywhere, and being upset with your yoga room. You need to get a grip. You know, be grateful and thankful for what you have. And I do feel like they're creating their own drama. And I always say this, I think idle thumbs really make devil's work.
Yeah.
And it seems that when you don't have to work really, really hard to earn and pay the bills, you have got all this free time, right? So you do good things with that free time, or
Yeah.
you end up becoming the, you know, this person that has everything's going wrong, and
Mm.
or you know, people are against me. And it is this where you sit down and you have too much time on your hands, and maybe they do have too much time on their hands, and this is the stage that they've got to. So it carries on anyway, stating that Harry is determined to find his own permanent home in the UK, which is partly why he's continuing his legal action to get the British taxpayer to pay for his security.
Yeah.
Right. Harry
It's
took
like,
legal. Yeah, it really
oh,
annoys me, this. Go on. No, go on.
no, it's just like, and also, does Harry realise even when he gets the security, Meghan is not coming back to this country? Because I feel like, as well, I feel like she's saying, I'm not going to go back there. We're not safe. We need the security. Knowing probably he ain't going to get it. But he is literally ploughing everything into this because he wants them to come to this country. And even if they were to get it, she's still not going to come anyway, because Meghan will not go anywhere where she's going to risk a boo or a bit of truth, a mirror held up to her, a bit of reality, and she ain't going to want that reality projected to the world. So he's fighting for this probably so he can bring his chicks. There's a reason why those kids haven't come here and met their family, and it's not. It's there's obviously something stopping that from happening. My guessing is Meg and him, but based on the security, and it's like, I feel like he's fighting gun ho for the security for so many reasons, apart from actually being paranoid about security.
Do you think once the security, if it goes through and they do pay for it, and the taxpayer does start paying for Mr. Harry's security,
People
do
are
you
not going to
think
be
then the
happy.
children may have more of, you know, more freedom? We might see them more often because
No,
because
I
I
don't think
think
so.
it's this part of the reason why he is like this with the kids, and he's so protective and he keeps them away from everyone. It's the security aspect that he's paranoid about it.
You don't
That's the
mind getting
only.
on a plane and leaving them all the time.
No, okay, yeah.
Where
I'm
him and
just trying.
Meghan could.
Yeah,
No, I'm just playing devil's
yeah,
advocate because he doesn't
yeah.
mind.
No, you're
I'd
right.
understand if it was the full package, but him and Meghan don't mind leaving them where they are risking getting an accident in both, like all the time. This is not the odd, oh, little breakaway because we never get to do it. This is on a roll, continuous, going and traveling, to Jamaica to watch a movie. This is non-needed travel in like increased risks of something happening to them. If you're worried about your security, surely you're worried about something happening to you, and you're leaving your children vulnerable, especially when there's no family around to actually take on them because they have no family, because you've taken that away too.
Do you not think Dorian might be looking after them?
No, she might be. I'm sure she's on the
Do you know,
payroll.
and you are right. If you are very protective of the kids, you wouldn't be leaving them that often, would you?
No,
You'd definitely be having them around. It's really difficult to work out what's going on. I don't want to go with that crazy theory that they're not real and stuff like that. I can't fathom that yet. And I know a lot of
oh
people
no,
believe it, but I just really tackle him with this kid stuff. You know,
yeah,
it does play on my mind what
human.
the real answer to this and what's really going on. I suppose in time things will come to light as they normally do. So it says here, however, Harry has been given the green light to challenge Sir Peter's dismissal at the Court of Appeal. The Duke has spoken about his love of the UK before, and his memoir Spare, released last year, he talks about his eviction from Frogmore Cottage. He was evicted. Harry wrote, once upon a time, this was going to be my forever home. Instead, it has proved to be just another brief stop. The couple were allowed to keep Frogmore Cottage as their base for several years after they were gifted the house as a wedding present from the late Queen. Things then changed in 2023 when King Charles evicted Harry and Meghan from the royal residence. And according to the Telegraph, Harry and Meghan viewed Frogmore Cottage as the only place that's left as a safe space for them and their children in the UK. And the couple have barely stayed in the property as they live in California with their 2 children. I think I've missed a bit here stating that he has he's longing to come back basically to the UK because he's got this rose-tinted idea of what it was like. He wants to meet up with his all of his old Etonian friends, all of his military friends. I think he's missing the camaraderie that he had in the UK, and maybe he's started to realise, this isn't really my home in California, because he did grow up here. And does he have as many friends and acquaintances in California as he has in England?
But then that's why, again, another box ticked, they isolate you and segregate you away, because the people that also love you and care about you will pull up the ones that are leading you into dangerous waters, kind of thing, and they're not going to hold back, I suppose, in a way, like William did, in saying, look, this ain't right, kind of thing. This is why they fell out. And the rose-tinted glasses, and this is all Tom Quinn, which I find really odd, because he's been Harry's mouthpiece. He's sort of been all, pro Harry and Meghan, but there seems to be a different change in his wording and when he says all of this now. And where are these rose-tinted glasses about his life? Because we've not seen any of that in the last 4 or 5 years, have we? It's all been absolute rubbish for Harry and Meghan. Like,
I think when you've gone over to California, it's a whirlwind kind of romance, us against the world. We're gonna, have this lovely life and set up and just start again. But you can't really start again if you're still connected to the royals and still doing royal tours. It's not really a fresh start. You haven't completely broken away.
No. That's the thing. Cut the apron strings, get rid of the titles. Then they would have had a little bit of chance at this being a better situation for them. But you can't say all that you have, then do what you have. Like their actions and that literally their words just don't, they catch up with them, because it's just so unbalanced, to the point where it's dangerous to watch. Like, it feels like uncomfortable to watch.
I've heard as well that Harry is upset that they're trying to get Andrew into Frogmore Cottage. So I think the angle is that he wants, because he said it is his safe space, only safe space left in the UK is Frogmore Cottage for them. So I think him saying that is planting the seed and trying to make me convince King Charles to give him
Frogmore back.
Give it back, yeah.
What a spoiled brat. What a spoiled brat, though. And, as much as I can recognise Harry and the manipulation and the change in a character, and I think this is where it's made it so dangerous, because he's a spoiled, entitled brat. Your dad has got cancer. Your brother's sister has got cancer. Yeah, brother's sister, your brother's wife has got cancer. Just stop. Just shut up. Like, stop. Ugh. Just does my head in.
It is. Go on, sorry, go on.
No, so I think Charles wants Harry to come home, and of course he would. Thomas Markle would love to see Meghan. Like, these are their children. So as much as they're angry, come on, Vic, if it was your children, what'd you do? You'd be broken.
It would kill me. I wouldn't want a relationship that was strained like that. And the thing is, you just don't know how your kid's mind will start working when they're older. And, you don't know what direction they're going to go in, how they're going to think, who's going to make them who's going to plant seeds in their heads. It is scary, the thought of them when they're older, the partners that they're going to choose. We all need to be getting along, right? So I've got to be a good mother-in-law. Yeah, for starters, I've got to check my behaviour, and they also need to check their behaviour. So it's a very delicate situation, and you don't know what you're entering into until you've entered into it. And I think they're probably all fooled by Meghan, because she gave a great show in the beginning, as most people do. They put on their best face for their partner and their partner's family, and then over time they've learned that the devil works in mysterious ways.
I feel like that maybe they were fooled by Meghan, but they also knew what Meghan was. But they also knew that Harry would kick off and do what he wanted anyway. So I feel like their hands were tied. I think they understood and they didn't want Meghan necessarily for Harry, just based off her history. And, she's, let's be honest, she was a yacht girl, allegedly. You're not going to want that.
Do you think the yacht girl stuff,
Yeah.
they must have done their homework on her
Yes,
before.
absolutely.
So this kind of should be stopped dead in the water
Yeah.
before it even went ahead, because there are levels of what you consider okay behaviour, and for a future royal, I wouldn't say that behaviour is accepted in any way. And that, I know that's your past, but it's done.
But this is why I think the royal family are stuck between a rock and a hard place, because I think they've moved heaven and earth to hide a lot of stuff about her.
Yeah.
And this is where, if that all comes out, or Harry and Meghan speaks to that, which they won't, will they? Because she ain't gonna want that to look bad on her. But if it comes out, it then will make the people look and really lose trust in the monarchy if they, even though we know they do it, because someone said earlier, like, the royal family leak stuff. We know that. We understand.
Oh yeah, they leak what they want us to hear, right?
Yeah.
It's all managed very well.
Yeah.
It's on
but they just play a better game.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
But when you see Harry and Meghan sit there and speak the words that they've spoken and share code words, like Harry to William that they shared with their dead mom, like, there's no going back from that,
Yeah, it's a situation where I feel like there's so much more that they're going to do, because they don't have any empathy. It's almost like once you've opened this can of worms, it's very hard to get everything back in that can. And I don't think they want to stop. I think they're quite happy telling their truth, which is a lot of people do these days. They want to tell their truth, but in doing so, they're harming other people in the process. Because sometimes I just think, is that really how the conversation went? Because we can relay a conversation to somebody else, but you have to really be there to know how things were said and what the words that were used, because how you word things and how you do things and how you say things is important, and that sets the tone for that conversation. But you can change the tone of that conversation when you relay it in the wrong way.
Absolutely.
See what I mean?
Yeah. Well, even in text format, it can be interpreted and projected and flipped and changed, like how you perceive it. Like Queenie Morris is saying, something serious had to happen for that wedding to be allowed. Now, I'm not Paula, because Paula M is incredible in retaining all the information. But I'm sure when they were in court and she got caught out for lying, or there's some paperwork to say that, or Harry accidentally said about her being pregnant at the time, which that would make sense if she was pregnant at the time, because you can't have a baby out of wedlock. You're the royal family. So, and there was room in her dress, if the front or something like that. So you have to look on Paula M. She would have a video on it, because she's got a video on it, everything. She's incredible at what she does. And there is a theory that actually Meghan had allegedly lied to Harry about being pregnant, and that's why the wedding went ahead. And
no.
There is. Ask Paula M in the chat after. Can anyone back that up?
It gets bloody worse, doesn't it? I didn't know that.
Because that would make sense.
So that's what sped up the marriage, because obviously that's out of wedlock situation.
I'm sure in a court document, it's the way Harry said it. It's sort of the dates sort of around the wedding and the pregnancy, and yeah, it's, I'm sure it's out there like that.
The girl is, very dangerous if
Yeah.
this is the case. You don't make up babies. That's one thing. As a woman, it's a pretty low bar to go to, isn't it? If you start
Hence why her
faking
dress was so
pregnancies.
Queenie. Have you heard that before? And I'm not just making this up. I'm sure that, yes, Tina, there was a story they heard them fighting, and H said, "Were you even pregnant?"
No.
But that would make sense why the royal wedding had to go and happen quickly, like it did. That would make they're like the head of the church.
It's all coming together, Tina.
Mm-hmm.
This is, it's entrapment then, isn't it?
Yes. Then she said she lost it. Tale as old as time.
Oh yes, I remember that. It's a stress.
Yeah.
That was a stress. That was just. Oh, I do remember. Is this to do with the stress of the Thomas Markle letter?
No, that was the
That was after. So she's lost two now.
yeah, and they
'Cause
buried
she
the
had a
one under the tree, didn't they?
So she's had two miscarriages in total. Is that right? It was what we know of.
Supposedly, yeah.
Okay, so the second one was when she was going through the court case over the letter that was leaked and read and published to the paper from her dad to her dad. She wrote a letter to her dad, and that was
I know the
printed
one they
out.
were in Canada, weren't they? So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's after the wedding.
Mm-hmm. And that's
Okay.
where they
Right.
said in the book, and Harry had dug a hole with his hands and buried it under a tree.
Oh dear.
So it's just all, it's all very, it's just all a bit romanticized, and just, are you actually burying it under a tree and like digging with your bare hands? It just seems a bit off, and you fantasize for a book and added on, that may be their truth, but everyone was a bit like, what? So I don't know. I don't want to go into that area,
No,
because
that
it's
feel.
such,
I mean, I
it's,
don't know.
yeah.
Victoria, you're so behind. Yes, I am so behind, Queenie. I am.
But at the
Listen,
end of
I
the
knew I
day,
did know about one of them, but I didn't know the one from before. I am
it's,
catching up, Queenie. Trust me, I'm going to get there. I'll get there. I'm going
this
to be
is
a
why
super whiz soon.
this is why sadly it's so emotive to so many people, between miscarriage and these topics really affect people, and we've got this with all of it, what they've done. So now there's a lot of people that can relate to either side or different topics in this whole bloody saga on a painful level as well.
So they're saying, Jennifer's saying here, they will never let you take a baby that you had lost home from the hospital to bury in the backyard. That is not allowed. I don't even know how far along was she when she miscarried, because that would determine sort of if the baby was formed or not. How far. I know with some miscarriages is you just bleed. You don't have an actual physical baby. So I don't know how far along she was to kind of work out, because some people do miscarry at home and they don't even have any hospital treatment. They won't even go. So I'm not entirely sure about that whole story. I'll look into it a bit with a bit more detail, and it's a bit of a sensitive subject, so it's a bit different. I don't want to even tear that down. If it is, that is quite
especially as we all, you don't even know if it's true or not, and it's just speculating over their truth. And if that is their truth, it's extremely sad. And loss and grief is just topics. I've done a letter too today about Catherine and cancer and stuff, and it's such a scary area to go into.
It's scary to address these topics, isn't it? Because it's so sensitive, and I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, because I'm known for doing that.
Let's move on.
Right. Okay.
We're towards the end now. Let's make it happy.
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah. So how was your birthday last night with your yesterday with your daughter Tina? Was it good?
Oh yeah, she loved it. She's living her best life at 8 years old. And do you know what? They share a birthday with Johnny Depp. I didn't realise.
Shh. Shut up.
I know. I see yesterday.
No.
Next birthday, and I was like, woo!
My son
He was
turns
celebrating too.
into Johnny Depp's character. That would be wicked, wouldn't it? That's brilliant. My son is actually really, really funny, actually. I think he should be a comedian. He
Yeah,
cracks, but he doesn't even know how funny he is. So
yeah,
that's great. Johnny Depp is the
yeah,
same birthday. The 9th of
yeah,
June is a special
yeah.
day.
I know. I
Yeah, it was
know.
really good yesterday. We had like a lovely football party, just really tiring, you know.
Yeah.
But you got to make the effort. Love kids' birthday parties.
You
They're
know what
just
our
fun
saddest realization was? We had to wake her up yesterday morning. That's it.
because she wouldn't get up.
No. Like, year after year, because I've lost her. That's it now. And like, she's normally up at like 5 in the morning. It's my birthday. But it's like 8:30. Birthday girl. And she's like, oh, and I'm like, no.
I know. It's like the times in Christmas when you'd wake up at like 5 in the morning to go downstairs. And now I'm just like trying to get as much sleep as possible. You know, I'll
Yeah.
be up and just open your stockings first and then I'll come through.
Kettle
Dying.
on, I need
Yeah.
to survive. My
20
eldest daughter
coffees.
was my eldest daughter was 30 yesterday as well. A happy birthday.
Oh, that's
Your
brilliant. Happy
daughter.
birthday. That's
30.
amazing. Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it? I love it. I love it when people share birthdays. It's great.
Oh, thank you, baby.
So your letter to Catherine, was that a letter to, was it regarding Catherine?
It was a letter to basically all the people that still speculate and sort of questioning their humanity kind of thing. But I've gone there. I've stripped it back raw. As I do.
think it is good to address it. You just have to do it in a sensitive manner. And the thing
Mhm.
is, I have to be more knowledgeable about miscarriages and even cancer.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had family members die of cancer, but I
Mhm.
couldn't tell you about every type of cancer. I know a bit about stomach cancer, a bit about bone cancer, but you know, it is a sensitive subject, and definitely with the fact of miscarriage, I don't want to even talk. I don't even know, because I've never actually miscarried myself, so I couldn't even tell you what what happens to the body. It's something I definitely need to look into a bit more. Thank you guys for all joining us tonight. We've really enjoyed you being in the chat. Really respectful chat today, which is great. I've enjoyed that. So Casabeh, you wouldn't have even needed to do any work today. You would have been fine. So I'm gonna put
Oh, I don't know. That don't stop them. I just don't think we've had any in tonight.
No, we've just had a nice chat in the side.
Nice group.
Yeah, no.
But I just want to quickly say that letter too. Obviously, I only go off on what we all know will be. Like, this family have been placed into major grief and a battle, and to watch a woman beg on a bench to like, leave me alone, let me just go and heal, and to still have people doing this, it's just insanity, to not even.
It's happened less and less now, though. They're not questioning her disappearance as much, but it is still.
They are.
Oh, are they? I haven't seen that
even
much.
on my thing I've got someone on my TikTok sort of saying, she needs to show proof of life. I'm like, what? No, she doesn't. Like, and on X, I haven't been on X, but it is bad. And there's some creators that have built their platform off supporting the royal family, but they're going into that side, and it's just, leave her alone.
Well, I have seen questioning around whether she's even kind of returned back as a royal, which I find ridiculous. She might take a year or two even to come back and do full royal duties, but. Whatever she needs, whatever time she needs, let her have it. It's not a biggie. And to question, whether she's coming back or not, why would she not? If she's going to come back, and maybe we should just take a slower, more relaxed approach to it for health reasons. And
absolutely.
I mean, and bless King Charles, he did attend the D-Day events because he was advised not to, but they didn't say, you can't go.
Yeah.
So he went because he wants to. He wanted to do it, You do what your body allows you
But
to
there's a
do.
massive difference between King Charles. He's been born and bred to be king. He's got his
Yeah.
mom's legacy of being seen to believe, being seen to be believed. He's older with his cancer diagnosis. For him, you know, I think it's different when you've got someone of Catherine's age. She's a young mom to young children. It's really important for her. I'm not saying it's not for him, but I just think as an older person, you just like, I'm doing this. Like where she really needs to make sure she does everything she can to be here, and
Yeah.
for her family. So,
And her
it's
kids are a
different.
priority as well,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah,
He and Prince
absolutely.
William can take on all the other duties, and she
Yeah.
can just do the mum role if that's what she wants to do. There's no pressure on anyone, and I don't think anyone should put pressure on her to
No.
do anything. Dell Plummer says, "I'm thinking 2 years. That's how long I took over to get over chemotherapy." Yes, I'm sorry you went through that,
Yeah.
Dell, and it takes chemotherapy is very very harsh on the body, and it's probably as in comparison it's as bad as the cancer, because it does other things. Even though it kills the cancer, it does a lot of other stuff to your body as well. Your hair falls out, you're tired. I think it just completely depletes all your energy,
Yeah.
and it makes you feel sick and things like that. So chemotherapy is really hard going. So
Yeah.
you've got to go through that treatment for a long time before you're in remission, right?
Hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. This is just what I remember. So yeah, it's not an easy road to go down. So if she is getting chemo, yeah, she's going to need a lot of time off,
Yeah.
100%.
Well, that's the thing. And this is not just anyone. This is Catherine Middleton. And the expectations upon her are so high. And we all know the side effects to chemotherapy. We all know what's going on here. And I'm just sick of the BS of people just pretending it's not. Firstly, I
Yeah.
think they will announce their divorce the day of trooping. Apparently, she's bringing out a new product on the day of the trooping out the
Oh,
country.
shut up,
I know.
don't.
I
Tina,
can't, Riley.
no.
Like,
Because if she does that, I just can't. I can't keep trying to play devil's advocate. I'm trying to be,
it's done.
trying to give them something occasionally, something nice. And
I
they
know.
just keep fucking it up. What are
I
they doing?
believe. Yeah, I heard that and I was like, no, they can't.
What are
But
they bringing out now?
every
Jesus.
time, no, it's a rumor mill. I don't know if it's happening. Someone said on the day of the treatment of the colour, she's going to bring out a new product. Now, I, it's believable. It is absolutely believable. And I swear to God, Victoria, if she does, me and you, our next live will be no longer playing devil's advocate. We will just go in for the kill.
I kind of get why, after time, like this long time where Paula and Megan's Mole, they've probably started off
Yeah.
quite nicely, and then I think the more and more you get to know her, I can see the contemption is rising and rising and rising. I mean, if she does bring out something, Tina, on the day of the trip, we need to do a live. We need
Yes,
to
we
come
will. On
straight
the
on.
treatment of the colour, we will come. We will literally do a live like that.
We need to, because
Be
it's
right.
it's it's going to blow me away, to be honest. I can't cope.
It's
There's
like,
just too
can you be
much.
that transparent? Are you actually going to do that after Diana's legacy, where you released Arrow? Like every time there's a royal event, she literally, some would say it's good business sense, but it's not, because people can see what you're doing. If you're going to manipulate us, be better.
Yes, do it a bit
Please,
better. Have
please
a
be
bit
better.
more decorum about you, Megan, sweetie. So we're actually nearly. I'm nearly up to
Yes.
now 20,000 subscribers. So
Wow.
once we hit the 20,000, I've got these lovely 10 balloons here. What I'm going to do is replace the one
I
with a
love it.
two. With a two, and we're going to have a 20,000K subscriber live party. Do you want to join us on that, Tina?
It's
We'll just have
absolutely
a little. I don't know what day we'll do it. We'll just do it, and just
okay.
for shits and giggles. You up for
And
that?
she's being all frugal there and saving the zero. It's only one balloon there, less damage to the planet. Harry
Exactly.
and
And I
Meghan will be
just thought
proud of you.
it's great timing. Yes, thank you. I hope they watch and like and subscribe.
Apparently, though, they're not having any more kids because it's dangerous. They want to help save the planet.
Of course, but then
Unlike,
private jets are doing the green belt justice, aren't they? They
but
are
yeah, if she
funny.
releases a product, we will come on live on Trooping of the Colours to just be like, what?
Yeah. Oh, and we're going to also have a live for King Charles's birthday. We're going to do like the history of King Charles, have a little bit of a discussion about him. It's on the 15th of June, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be our live, all focused
Saturday.
on, yes, so all focused on King Charles and his sort of his growth and how he's got through life, and just nice things about
I like King
King
Charles, so that'd be easy for me. I feel like he's a good man.
And fun facts about him, obscure facts as well.
I just love the fact. Well, I don't love it because it's really sad, actually. But the fact when the Queen died, he was out picking mushrooms.
Oh.
But like, isn't that King Charles? Like, he's literally out in the forest picking mushrooms, and I just he went out to clear his head, weren't expecting it, and like he was just picking mushrooms, and it's so cute.
He's a fun guy.
At one with the earth. He's a fun guy. He is.
Oh, I've always wanted to use that in a conversation.
Baby number 3. Do you know what they probably would do to get the hysteria going? I feel like anything's just a aim to get themselves out there. Like most people have like a baby for a band-aid. I think this would be a baby for a, I don't know. I can't think of the words, but
you know, if we can't all think like that, we all have to have children. You know, I would have had 10 if I could afford them, but 2's very expensive, so I'll just stick with the 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all right with 3, to be honest with you.
So yeah, we're gonna have you 3. I think 3's a lot, actually. Yeah. I think 3's is a lot more than 2 in a way. For some reason, it's quite daunting.
What's that?
But I just got a balloon thrown at my head. Oh, what did you read?
What did you say? Right, we've got to go. Right, we'll be here in 20
I'm going to wrap it up. Okay, right. Lovely jubbly. Right. Thank you for all joining us, guys. Like, subscribe, share. I'm going to put Tina's details and links in the description box. And we'll see you 9 o'clock on Saturday. King Charles special. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. Love you guys. Thank you. Night, night. Bye, 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 bye.
Bye, bye.